Welcome to the third video on alternative forms of advertisement. I am Jared. I'm the founder of Hive Lead. Today we're going to be talking about two subjects. The first one is Yelp, and the second one is Bing/Yahoo. Now, if you are a local advertiser, then you're going to want to watch this segment on Yelp. If you are an advertiser that has a nationwide business selling products or courses, or perhaps services in the beauty industry, then you're going to want to skip to the second part of the video that talks about Bing and Yahoo. The reason for this is that Bing and Yahoo, they don't have a huge amount of the search traffic. It's about 30%. Google has about 60%. And so that particular ad network just doesn't get enough traffic for most local businesses. So if you're a local business, you're probably not going to be able to use Bing or Yahoo effectively. However, if you are selling something nationwide, there's enough traffic that you can get and enough search to justify using it. If you are you're offering courses or selling products, Yelp is an advertisement system that is aimed directly at local businesses, so it will be completely and totally useless to you. So you're going to want to skip the first part of this video. So let's get into it and talk about Yelp. There are some advantages and disadvantages to using Yelp. First of all, the advantages: Yelp is free to set up. So you can set up yourself a profile for free at no cost. You can claim your profile, and it will already probably get you some traffic just in and of itself. Second, it's fairly cost effective. You can often get leads at a cost effective rate using Yelp for a local beauty business. Now, it's not always the case, but many times you can, and you can get a cheaper cost per click than you would with Google Ads. You can also scale it. Number three, scale it and downscale it, your advertising, just as you would with Google Ads. Now, there are some disadvantages. Number one, you are not allowed to use review management software to solicit reviews when you use Yelp. So you cannot do that. It's not permitted. So you can't automatically get your profile with tons of reviews. Now, you could say to the people that came in, hey, review me on Yelp. They're not going to be able to track that. But according to their policies, and I'm not sure why exactly it's like this, you're not allowed to do that, and your profile will get suspended if you do. Number two, you don't have a lot of control if you're going to be paying for any sort of pay-per-click advertising on Yelp. Then you don't really get a lot of say in what gets shown to whom. It's sort of an automatic system, and of course, I don't really like that, and neither should you. Number three, it can be very difficult to deal with bad reviews. Yelp will get rid of certain reviews, but they have very strict policies, and you could even have someone come on and review you on Yelp that had never used your service, but it's very difficult to get rid of those bad reviews. So if you're going to go into it, you need to understand that you need to make sure that you're going to be responding to any bad reviews, and you need to make sure that you're going to have lots of good reviews to counteract. So you're going to have to be telling your customers that come in and making a point of getting them to review you. So here you can see how it looks. So I just Googled microblading in Cincinnati, Ohio at random. You can see here up at the top, these are paid ads. So they're much like Google. You pay for these ads to appear, and then you pay when they get clicked upon. Down at the bottom, you can see just a regular profile that shows up that when I Googled microblading in Cincinnati, Ohio. And you have to pay in order to show up there up at the top and over to the side there, and it is definitely possibly something you should do. How much should you invest in this? Well, that depends on your area, and that's something that if you contacted Yelp to do this, that they could help you decide, or if you contacted us as a Yelp partner. So here on this page, you can see I just clicked on Brow Envy, and you can see that there are premium profiles that you can click on as an alternative. That's when you pay $90 a month and you are boosted and you're given a premium profile, and you'll appear in different segments across Yelp. And so it's going to get you some traffic. It's not terribly expensive. If you have a nice profile and you manage to get some good reviews on it, then you might want to pay for that monthly premium profile. And when people are on Yelp and they're looking through possible providers, they are going to see you. If you've got good reviews, they're going to click on you and see what the deal is, and you may get some business out of it. So that ends our Yelp segment. It's very simple. If you are a local advertiser, you may or may not want to watch the next segment on Bing/Yahoo. So Bing and Yahoo are actually on this. First of all, they're on the same ad network. It also includes other search engines, but the main ones are, of course, are going to be Bing and Yahoo. And so you can advertise to both of these at the same time, and I recommend you do that. It's very similar to Google Ads, the way it works. There's a lot of similarities. And the nice part about Bing/Yahoo is that many times the cost per click may be lower than what it would be with Google Ads. Now, is that always true? No, that's not always true. Sometimes the cost per click is actually higher for some reason with Bing and Yahoo. But it's 30% of the search on this network. So Google's about 60, this is about 30. Google has way more search than Bing and Yahoo, but 30 is definitely not something to sneeze at on this network. So you need to pay attention to it. It's good for the courses and the products if you're selling them nationwide. We've already talked about that. So if you're a local business, you're probably not going to be able to utilize it. Now, you could try it and you might be able to get some clicks, but you're not going to get a lot out of it. So you have to do a cost comparison analysis to see if it's worth it for you to spend your time setting up your campaign with Bing or Yahoo. And here we're going to take a look at the actual platform. You'll notice it's very similar. On the left, you've got campaigns. You create ad groups, then you put keywords in them, and then you're supposed to write 3 ads per ad group. It's very, very similar, and it works just like Google Ads as far as search go. There's also a display network, which is much smaller than Google's. You may try to experiment with that as well. I haven't had a lot of good experiences with the display network, but you can always try and see if it works out well for you. So this is very, very similar, and some keys to the Bing and the Yahoo campaigns. First of all, if you look at the second point, starts from scratch. You can actually import your Google Ads campaign into Bing and Yahoo. I don't recommend that you do that. Why? Because there's way less traffic and way less search out there on Bing and Yahoo. So that means that you need to pick out a more generic set of keywords, and you can use Bing's keyword planner to help you to decide on a group of keywords. So you're going to have the same process that you have in Google Ads. You're going to research keywords, get a group together of them. You're going to have the same structure as Google Ads. You're going to create single keyword only ad groups. Each of those keywords is assigned a quality score, just like in Google Ads. And you got to get that quality score up as high as you can. Now, the quality score is calculated in a different way than with Google Ads, but you still are going to do the same thing. So I'm not really even going to go into it, how it's calculated. But just like with Google Ads, if you have relevant ads and you have a good landing page experience, and all the same stuff applies. So single keyword only ad groups, cross negative keywords, exact and broad, modified broad, and you're just gonna build it out just like you would with Google Ads. The difference is that the keywords are going to be more generic and they're not going to be the same, and the bids are going to be very different. And there's a little handy tool when you're generating keywords in Bing and Yahoo that will give you an idea about how much you should be bidding on your keywords, and it's an auction system. So it's almost exactly the same. And in fact, we make a lot of jokes about Bing around here. It seems like every time that Google Ads implements something, that 3 to 6 months later, Bing implements the exact same thing. So it's like a bad copy of Google Ads, but it can work well for you, especially if you're in that product segment. Now, a lot of older people use Bing because they're not technologically sufficient, and so they have the default search on Windows set as Bing, and so they end up always using Bing. Of course, you can change that. You can set it to Google, which is what a lot of people do. So you'll find that an older audience tends to use these particular search engines, especially Bing. And so we want to encourage you to use Bing in this particular situation. Once again, to close, we do free 30-minute consultations. So if you've got questions about Yelp or Bing/Yahoo, email us on this landing page that these videos are on, and we will get back to you, set up an appointment with you. Last video, super important, Facebook. Looking forward to it.